Welcome to the Lunch Lads podcast.
Welcome everyone to episode 13 of the Lunch Lads podcast. With the NHL playoffs coming up, we will be going and reviewing every division and giving a little insight into every matchup. And then we're going to be doing a Blue Jays recap. We haven't talked about them in a while. So let's get into it. Donsky, can you start us off with the first division?
Yeah, so the first division, the playoffs, the Central. The matchups right now are Hurricanes are playing the Predators and Panthers playing the Lightning. In this division, basically, there's just three top teams in the NHL, and then there's one odd team out with the Predators who don't really deserve to be here, in my opinion. I think the Stars and Blackhawks both are better teams. The interesting thing with this division, three of the teams are kind of built very similar. They have two strong goalies. Hurricanes have Mrazek, Reimer, and they have Nigel, whatever his name is, can't pronounce it. Nedeljkovic. Panthers have three also. They have four, actually. They have our good friend Devin Levy, Spencer Knight, Driegler, and Bobrovsky. And then Predators have Saros and Rene. I think it's going to kind of cause some issue in this division because none of those teams have a set number one goalie. They kind of been rotating all year round, and I don't think either of the goalies on the teams are going to get that hot streak and get in the zone because they keep going back and forth. While the Lightning then have that one goalie in Vasilevsky who's going to play every single game, get on a roll, and I think that's going to carry them out of the division. I don't see any team doing well enough on Vasilevsky where McElhinney is going to be needed in the game. Yeah. So I think that's a big advantage to have that one goalie that will be on a roll, and they have Kucherov and Stamkos coming back to an already dominant team. I just don't
They practiced today.
It's great. That team. I think that team is. I don't know how they're the 3 seed in that division.
Well, also a thing about the Lightning though that you didn't mention. Hedman has been playing through an injury and hasn't really looked like himself that much. I know he's probably going to be nominated for the Norris anyway, but he probably won't win it. But he just hasn't looked like himself the past month, I would say. And I know he was actually recommended that he should have surgery soon, but I don't think he's gonna have surgery because obviously he wants to be there for his team and play through it during the playoffs. So that could be having not a very healthy Victor Hedman, who's I would say probably one of their most valuable players besides Vasilevsky, is going to be a pretty good issue. Is going to be a pretty solid issue for them against a very good Panthers team with some pretty nice goal scorers there.
Yeah, I was about to say, do not overlook the Panthers offense. They've been on fire basically the whole season, and they can
Panthers are the only they're in a 6-game winning streak coming to the playoffs. While Tampa and Carolina are coming off 3-game losing streaks. Florida's coming in that hottest team in the division so far. Their offense has been amazing. Their offense probably is the only thing that might make Vasilevsky not as valuable. He's that offense is one of the only offenses that could make Vaz not look like that top goalie.
Okay, Donsky, give us your winners of both matchups and who comes out of the division.
Okay, so in the first matchup, Carolina-Nashville, I got to have Carolina coming out of that one.
Yeah.
Florida.
And how many games?
I have Carolina winning in 4-1.
Yeah.
Then in the Florida Lightning series, it's going to be a closer series. Both teams are actually good teams rather than the other one where Nashville sucks. I'm going to have the impact of Kucherov and Stamkos coming back. I got to take Lightning in 6.
All right.
Yeah. Well, if I had to make a quick prediction on that, who do you have? Who would win, Lightning or Hurricane?
I have, by that time, hopefully Hedman's a bit more healthy. I'm going to take Lightning winning in 5.
Wow. 5.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think I'm going to do a quick little prediction too. I have Carolina. I'll have them. I think Saros steals them the game. So I agree with Donsky, Carolina in 5. And then I'm going to go Panthers in 7. I think that if we get a little retro Sergei Bobrovsky action there, that would be pretty nice.
I wouldn't count on it, man. Hasn't looked his best this year.
Yeah, but it's the playoffs. You never know what happens in the playoffs. And I think that, Kucherov hasn't played since the last game of the Stanley Cup Finals. And you can practice all that. You can practice all that you want. It's not the same as being in a real game, and especially just being thrown right into the playoffs the most intense, like games way faster, hits are harder. I think it will be tough for him to find his groove early on. Stamkos, he could probably get injured in like the second game. Like you don't even know. That guy's the most injury prone person ever. And I think Carolina, I think that Florida is going to actually pull this off and win 7. I actually really like Florida's chances this year. They're the surprise team for most people this year, and they've looked really good. And then I think Carolina comes out, and I think they take Florida in 6, and I think Carolina advances to the semifinals.
Yeah, my prediction is, I really like Carolina, and you guys will be hearing a lot about Carolina, barring any big injuries to them in my predictions in the next coming episodes. But I like Carolina over Nashville in 6, and then I like Tampa over Florida in 7. I think they get it done. I think their players coming back.
That'll be a really good series.
And then I'm going to take Carolina over Tampa in 6.
Yeah.
I really like Carolina.
Yes, I really like Carolina.
I love their team. I think they have a chance to go really far this year.
Yeah, they're a great team. I think if Tampa has those guys all going healthy by then, if they make it out of that first round, Kucherov and Stamkos are playing good. Hedman's healthy. They've gotten into the groove of playoff hockey. I just don't think.
Yeah, you know what? I can see why a lot of people. I like Tampa a lot, and I can see why a lot of people like
Tampa has good depth. They have underrated.
Yeah, and also the key thing with a lot of these teams, and we'll be mentioning one of them before, Leafs. Later we'll be mentioning the Leafs, who haven't had much playoff success. And this used to be the narrative with Tampa, but last year we saw them do it, and like we know that core group, that team, they could win series and they could make it far in the playoffs. So it'd be hard to bet against them.
Another team who actually has had only 1 year of great playoff success. I mean, Tampa has made the finals before, but the Washington Capitals of the East Division are playing the Bruins in what's going to be, I think, a great series, as well as the other matchup, Penguins and Islanders. You can never go wrong with some Penguins and Islanders.
Yeah, I feel like they always play each other in the playoffs.
It's always an awesome series.
This division is going to be a great playoff. Both
Yeah.
series are going to be.
I could see all 4 teams making it out of it.
Yeah, they're all good teams.
All 4 teams can win.
I'll start with the Penguins and Islanders. I just don't think I could count out the Penguins right now. They've just been so hot for the last half of the season. Crosby's on a tear. They got Jeff Carter. He got 4 goals in one game. He's producing. I really like their team. And, I like the Islanders, but their only problem is sometimes they just can't score. And I don't know if that's going to get it done. They play really well defensively. I don't think they'll be able to get it done in a full series. Give me Penguins in 7 over the Islanders.
Yeah, I feel like most people are going to agree with Penguins getting out of that series.
I think it's going to be a better series than some people might think. Just seeing the 1v4, you think, oh, the one's got to win. I think it goes to 7, but I think the Penguins get it done.
Yeah.
And
by the way, can we mention something? Where's Kyle Palmieri? Where's the guy that everyone was talking about? I haven't heard anything about Kyle Palmieri or whatever.
All I've heard is that Zajac is bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has like 2 points or a few points.
Yeah, well, that was the big acquisition.
Maybe Kyle Palmieri turns up in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But the other series, I also think is going to be an amazing series. I love Capitals Bruins. That just sounds like a great series. Yeah. The Bruins are really hot. Taylor Hall has been amazing for them. That second line is really clicking. And you know what? I really don't like the Bruins, but you can't count them out. Their playoff success compared to the Capitals recently, I just don't see the Capitals beating them. I'm going to take the Bruins in 6. Maybe a bit of a surprise because the Capitals are better than them for most of the season. I don't think it goes 7. I think the Bruins take care of them in 6. I really like their chances this year.
Who do you have winning?
And over Bruins and Penguins, I'm going to take – oh, my God, it kills me to say this. I'm going to take Bruins in 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you here. So I'm going to do a quick prediction. I have Penguins and Capitals coming out. I think Crosby's just going to dominate. I don't see them losing.
Penguins and Capitals series would
I think the Capitals, Bruins, it's all going to be dependent on which trade deadline acquisition is better. Taylor Hall and Mantha. I think Mantha's going to be that better player and bring him over the edge. And then I'm going to take Crosby beating Ovi in the finals of that division.
Game 1 tonight, Caps Bruins.
Yeah.
I think Penguins are going to beat the Caps in the finals of that series in 4. I think they're sweeping it.
I'm going to zag. I'm going to say Islanders in 7. I like the Islanders.
Yeah, I would pick any team. Like
It's one of those divisions that if you told me you picked any team to come out of it, I would totally understand who you picked. So
I mean, Islanders just get better without Tavares, so you can't count them out.
all right, but I'll take Islanders in 7. I feel bad for them. We stole their favorite player, and now they're all salty and still can't get over it. Like he wanted to go back to his hometown, get over it. But I take Islanders in 7. I really love the Penguins, and I love Crosby. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But I really think that the Penguins, I think they're done. I think they had those back-to-back cups. I'm gonna say the dynasty or whatever. It's just like last year they got upset first round by Montreal, and I think they're gonna get upset first round again. I don't think they're making it past the first round, and then I think this series is also going to go 7. I know it's like kind of generic to pick both game 7s, but I think the Bruins pull it off in 7. I think that Tuukka actually plays pretty well in this series. He's been like, pretty injured the most of the year. And
The backup though, like Halak's a solid backup.
it's not even Halak. I think it's Swayman.
They switched. Halak
Yeah.
was playing for majority of the year, I guess.
Yeah, but it's Swayman now. And Bruins versus Islanders. I don't want to say it like sorry, but I think Bruins. I think Bruins win in 6 over the Islanders and 8 to the semis. Which
One note about the Islanders is that they actually have one of my favorite lines in the league, and it's actually their 4th line. But as I'm checking daily lineups right now, the 4th line is Matt Martin, Casey Zizekas. But where's Cal Clutterbuck? It's Travis Zajac on the 4th line. Where's Cal Clutterbuck? That's one of my favorite lines in the league. I don't know.
I love Cal Clutterbuck.
Cal Clutterbuck better be back for the playoffs. I don't see him anywhere here.
So we have 2 Bruins, 1 Penguins. Ross, any predictions on this division?
Yeah, I think the Bruins. I have them winning the cup this year. I have them. I have them.
Bad Habs fan.
Yeah. In whatever the year they won the cup a couple years ago, I was in a family pool, and the other guy picked Vancouver. I picked Boston. So
that was a bit more than a couple of years ago.
More than a couple of years ago.
That's getting it pretty deep.
Yeah.
Whatever. I have a spot in my heart. Not too great, but a little bit of a spot.
All right.
Go to the West.
West Division. This is, I would say a lot of people have the top 2 cup contenders are both in this division, and it's going to be a bloodbath to see which one comes out. But will one of them get upset in the first round? You'll hear from me right now. So matchups, we got the one before is the Colorado Avalanche, the President's Trophy winners, versus the 2 years removed Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues, who looking at the division, it doesn't really look like the Blues belong with those 3 teams. It's kind of a Predator situation. But again, like I said with the Lightning, we've seen these guys do it before, and they could potentially, sneak out a series, go pretty far. Binnington gets hot. You never know. But I really, really like the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche are amazing. Philip Grubauer has been playing at a Vezina level this year. I don't know if he'll win it, but he's been playing amazing. Kyle McCarr, I think you can make the argument that he's the best defenseman in the league, like right now, and he's only 23, 24. But he's amazing. That line, Landeskog, Rantanen, McKinnon, that's unstoppable. I'm going to have to take the Avalanche in, I'll say 6. I'll give respect to the Blues. But the Avalanche are really good, and they are very, very scary. Now, this division, the next matchup in this division is Vegas Golden Knights versus the 3 seed Minnesota Wild, who kind of came out of nowhere this year and surprised a lot.
Surprise of the season.
Yeah, them and the Panthers were probably the biggest surprises this year. Minnesota Wild finished 3rd in division, but they stacked up a lot of points, especially playing against those 2 teams a lot, Vegas and Colorado. They played pretty well, and I would say they got a favorable matchup for them against Vegas, because I'm looking at their matchup this year. they went 5-1-2 against Vegas this year. So they've been playing pretty well against Vegas. And I don't know. I feel like Vegas, they have the best goalie tandem in the league, and Leonard and Fleury. Fleury also been playing at a Vezina level this year. And, Vegas has the stacked forwards, the stacked defense. They're stacked. But it seems like the Wild kind of have their number. So do I go with a little hot take? Do I go with Wild in 7 over Vegas?
Wow.
Wild in 7. I think they have their number. I'm gonna go Wild in 7. You heard it here first. So that leaves us Wild versus Avalanche next round, and I think the Avalanche take care of business. Avalanche in 5.
I'm the exact opposite of you, Giddy. I have St. Louis upsetting Colorado, and then I have Vegas beating out Wild and then Vegas taking it. I don't think Fleury and Leonard are unstoppable in come playoff time. The one thing with this division is I kind of think it's a bit of an overrated division. These teams are doing so well, these top 3. They play the likes of Anaheim, San Jose, LA, and Arizona so often, and those teams are complete garbage.
Yeah, I'm looking at the hockey references, and it's like looking at the Wild, like Avalanche, and like Golden Knights, like head to head. It's like 7-1 versus Anaheim, 7-1 versus Arizona. It's
like I think whoever comes out of this division is going to be the favorite to win the cup, and then whichever team they play, they're going to get smoked by. Like I think,
smoked.
Yeah, I don't think this division is going to go far.
A lot of people could make the argument for that of like the North Division.
Yeah,
I think you guys are ridiculous. First, I take Avalanche. I don't usually take sweeps, especially in the NHL, but I think they sweep the Blues in 4.
Bennington's gonna have a great run.
I think they're so good, especially. I think they're a bit of a regular season team, but I think they take them in 4. And then Vegas, I'll take over Minnesota in 6. Minnesota's a great story. I don't buy them in the playoffs for 1 second though, but they have played against them well, so I'll give them 2 wins. I take Vegas in 6. I really like Vegas, and then when they play the Avalanche, I think Vegas is just the more powerful physical team. I'm going to take them over the Avalanche in 6 also, and I could see them making it to the finals, no doubt.
I love Vegas. I really love that. Like, they're one of my, like, obviously,
I think they're
like a cool team.
Good. There's like the Avalanche are really good, and then I think Vegas is just scary good. Like I wouldn't want to play them.
I think Vegas is better than the Avalanche. Like I would rather Vegas than the other 2 winners I've picked so far. Like I'd say Vegas over Penguins and Tampa.
Well, too bad they're a first round exit, but whatever. Russ, do you have any bold predictions there? Or?
I don't, but I think we should get into the division everyone wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Where we have a little bit of a rivalry here. Me and Noah are both Habs fans, and the other 2 are Leafs fans. So, let's get into it. Let's start with our predictions and what we think is going to happen. Some ups and downs. Noah, can you give us some insight?
So I'm going to start off with the Jets and the Oilers. Now, I think that's a bit more of an interesting series than some people make it out. I'm not the person who buys into, especially in the NHL, the superstars carrying the playoffs. I think it's more of a goalies can take advantage of the playoffs.
Goalies, let's go.
And you can't discount Connor McDavid. He's not even a superstar. He's just on a whole other level. But I think it's going to be let's save predictions for the end for this division.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be an interesting series. I know the Jets have just been playing terribly, and Connor Hellebuck's been banged up. I think Ehlers might be back for game 1.
I think he's coming back.
I'm not that high on.
That's a pretty scary top 6. I know Wheeler's been not the greatest this year, and some guys haven't really produced Dubois. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a great series. I'm really excited to watch.
I'm going to be careful with my words when I talk about all these teams because I don't want to jinx anything or have it come back against me. I'm not going to say this person sucks, this team sucks, and then have them sweep the Leafs or something like that.
I'll say Jets are getting swept by the Oilers. I'm not a Connor Hellebuck fan. I don't trust that guy. I can't.
What?
I've watched him play like games. He makes these crazy saves, but then he'll let in the worst goal I've ever seen in my life. Like he'll let in an on-ice goal from the point, and then he'll make like a flashy save, and I was like, oh, he's the best.
I don't think his team's the greatest, and the thing that might like bring the Oilers over the top. Obviously, they've been playing way better, but I think it's going to be a tight series. Is just the lack of defensemen on the Jets. They're just so terrible.
They're awful.
And they've just been playing. They have no one. They got no one.
In Connor.
I've heard a lot of things that like the Jets, like their defense doesn't stop the offense. They absorb the offense. Like they just let them take it over the blue line. They let them carry it in the zone, and they let them get shots. So these shots are going to go in.
Especially when you have Connor and Leon.
Besides the fact that I'm going to take the Jets in 7, I don't know. It's gonna be great.
I feel like the Oilers have played the Jets well this year, if I'm not mistaken.
But I'm not sure, but the Jets, I think Connor Hellebuck's going to show us why he's a top 3 goalie in the league this year.
I think you guys are talking about the wrong goalie in this series. I think we have to give some respect to Mike Smith's name. He's been a stud this year.
The Oilers
He's
are
not
really
30
good.
years old or 39 years old. Like that's impressive.
He's been a stud. And I'm going to make another bold prediction here. I think Mike Smith scores a goal in this series. I think he's going to score a goal. He's the best puck-playing goal. I think he's one of the best puck-playing goalies in this league. He has, I think, 2 career goals before. I think he scores a goal in this series. That's going to be my weird bold prediction.
Sometimes he gets a bit too aggressive with the puck.
He does. He's a very aggressive goalie.
He can be that one to jump out of the net and then empty net goal just like that.
Yeah, no, he's very aggressive, and that could sometimes be a fault. But sometimes it's very good. And I think that, against this Winnipeg team, they have a very good top 6. But besides that, they don't really have anything else. And their defense, they're really bad. They just have Morrissey and Forbert or whatever. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, Pionk's good, but they don't really have very good defensive defensemen. And I love Connor Hellebuck. I understand why you think that he's bad.
Let me provide one quickly. Jets and Oilers. The season series is 7-2 for the Oilers.
Yeah.
I don't think
Connor Hellebuck lets in 3
anything
goals. Connor Hellebuck lets in 6 goals. Connor Hellebuck lets in 3 goals. Connor Hellebuck lets in 4 goals. Then there's a 2 goal. Connor Hellebuck lets in 3 goals. Connor Hellebuck lets in 5 goals. Connor Hellebuck lets in 6 goals. Connor Hellebuck lets in 4 goals. He has 1 game with 2 goals let up. The other ones are all 3 and a plus.
Well, you can't do anything. It's Connor McFraud.
He hasn't been good against
at all. I think
we just mentioned that Connor McDavid is.
I think Connor McDavid's going to put up points, but I've seen it with some Oilers Habs games earlier in the year. When you can get on Connor McDavid's bad side, he gets frustrated. When he's not putting the puck in the net, he gets frustrated. I think we'll see a bit of that. I think he's still
fraud
points, but I'm gonna take Jets in 7 here.
I'll take Oilers.
It's a bit of a surprise pick. I think the Jets get it done now.
I'll take Oilers in 5.
Oilers in 4.
Actually, not 5, 6. My bad. 6.
4.
All right.
Are we getting into it?
I want to get into it so badly, but I don't want to say anything bad about this.
We're getting into it. Let's go through it all. Habs, Leafs, game 1 next Thursday. I think Jake's gonna put on his ugly jersey.
I don't want to make a prediction on this game.
Okay,
yeah.
So maybe we don't go to predictions right now, but let's talk about strength and weaknesses of each team.
Leafs strength, Habs weakness.
Right off the bat, you got to look at the Leafs, just their star power, just the way they've handled the Habs this year.
Oh, yeah, number
7 out of 10, 7 wins.
He owns you. He owns you.
He does, unfortunately.
He's your father.
Your only good player isn't on your roster. Where's Cole?
It's just been, as a Habs fan, it's just been so tough to watch the last month with our top 3 highest paid players out. I'm not even sure Weber's going to be back for game 1. It's not looking great.
Are you going to cry?
But there's still a lot of time left. So, Jake, we know you're going to cry when we win, okay?
I will. If you
we're
do,
not going to work for that.
You're not. But, yeah, we've had some injuries too. Freddie was out for a long time this year. And even if he wasn't playing the best, Big Save Dave, he ain't it. He's not a good backup. I don't like Big Save.
Obviously Freddie's on the bench, right? Like he's not starting game 1.
It's Campbell.
God, no, he's not starting game 1.
Campbell's locked in.
I've always thought Campbell, you got to give him the start. Like he's just been amazing.
No, you definitely do.
So many things like who's going to start, Campbell or Anderson? Like half the people say Anderson. Like they're not starting.
No one's saying.
The best is the NHL released. I don't know if it was the NHL, but somebody released a top 16 goalies in the playoffs chart.
That was disrespectful.
Campbell wasn't even on it.
No Leafs goalies, no Capitals goalies.
That was disrespectful. That was really disrespectful. You can't tell me in the right mind that Nedeljkovic is better than Campbell.
No, Campbell, just the way he's played, he's got to be top 10 on that list.
Or
Cam Talbot.
Yeah, like,
come on.
Cam Talbot would not give the Leafs a better chance to win than Campbell.
Exactly. Campbell's been playing really well lately. He's only had, I think, 2 losses this year, 3 losses. He's been amazing. or he had one last night. I'm not counting that against the Jets. We didn't try. No Marner. But
so I just wanted to mention one thing about games 3 and 4 are back-to-back games.
Yeah. Can we say something to NHL?
I'm just stupid, and I was thinking, how do they not play Campbell back-to-back? If Price is healthy, how do they not play him back-to-back? And you guys were all like, no, they're going to get in the games. And I'm thinking, what are they talking about? So anyways, I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts and YouTube videos, and they've been talking about this game, and they're like, yeah, Jake Allen's got to play one of those games. Frederick Anderson is going to play one of those games.
You got to.
Are they crazy? It's the playoffs.
No.
The Leafs don't the Leafs aren't a back-to-back goalie game. I don't think Freddie. I don't think he's ever played back-to-back.
I don't get how you don't.
Freddie's played a lot of back-to-backs.
It's not like they're traveling.
Never played back-to-back.
Or in Montreal, they're on the next day. You don't get to travel. You go home to your hotel. You sleep one night, and then you're back at it the next day.
Well, I think when we're up 3-0 and we're looking for the sweep, we might ease off and let Freddie play that game.
Oh, you just might let us come back for the 4 in a row.
I don't want
that.
That'd be the worst thing ever.
That would be something else.
That'd be the worst. That'd be worse than the Boston series. That'd be brutal.
Yeah, the Boston series wasn't 3-0.
There's for sure going to be 4 goalies played in this series. Like at some point,
I just think it's. I'm not going to say there won't be, because based on what I've heard, there's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not saying I agree with this. I just am guaranteeing.
How does that make any sense? In their right mind, it's the playoffs. You have to win. Each game is as important as the next one.
They need to give these goalies a rest. They can't be playing back-to-backs, then going on to play the rest of this year. Because imagine 7-game series, this one, next one, 7-game series. They can't have Campbell playing them all. And they'd rather, if the Habs or Leafs win this series, they'd rather have the backup play now and get the rest than have the backup play in the next round or like later on in the Cup Finals. They want to get the backup to play earlier on.
Well, also, especially with Carey, because he's coming off an injury. Like, I don't think you're gonna push him.
Well, but it's the playoffs. You have to push him, or you're gonna lose.
Yeah, but then Carey.
I understand Jake Allen hasn't been bad, but besides the first part of the season, he has not been good.
But you're saying you'd rather push Carey than possibly get him injured in that game?
Well, it depends. It depends if Carey's playing bad, then obviously not. But if he's playing well, if he's allowing 2-3 goals a game, let's say, and he's giving the team a chance to win, and they're winning some of the games, and he's not injured, and he doesn't get injured again, then I would 100% play in both games.
I don't think they can. They've seen other teams the Vegas or a top.
Yeah, I understand you
they
might be risking something, but I think it's a bit ridiculous.
These 2 goalie teams, besides Tampa, they're kind of a different team. Like they only use Vaz. Almost every other team that goes deep playoffs runs, they have that backup goalie that can come in for that one.
They have it, but they don't use it unless they really have to. Unless if there's an injury.
But you don't want to have to. The thing is, you don't want to have to come into this later in the playoffs where your backups play 0 games.
Okay, but the Habs are such an outlier. They shouldn't even be in the playoffs. So if you're gonna give,
you're saying you'd rather just throw in maybe you need to put in Allen later in playoffs so you make it far.
I think you throw out your best cards and you say if we have a chance to win, we're gonna play our best goalie.
I think you got to play it strategically. Give your starting goalie rest, and if you need to get your backup goalie in later in the playoffs, they have that one game under their.
I don't think the Habs are looking about later in the playoffs. They're looking for this round to try to win.
I think the Habs.
Personally, I think it's a dumb move by any team to be looking later. And I don't care if you're the Leafs and you're that good, or if you're the Habs and you're not that good, and shouldn't have that much of a chance according to Vegas odds. But any team can lose the first round. So why are you going to risk one game? Because one game can make all the difference. What if I wouldn't be surprised. At least play Freddie in the second game, and the Habs stick with Price and they win. And what if the Habs win 4-3 like that? Then everyone's going to be looking at that game. I understand there's other games, but I just think you throw your best cards out there and you hope for them.
And I think the best cards is playing 2 goalies. The goalies need that rest. The goalies can't go play a back-to-back and the rest of the series.
Professional athletes, how could they not play 2 days in a row? That's so ridiculous.
They can't play 2 days in a row. They can play 2 days in a row.
It's very tiring to be a goalie.
No, they can play back-to-back nights, but the issue is then they have to come out.
It's not like they've been playing their back-to-back nights in the tough
games.
Season schedule. They're going to have a lot of time off before game 1, then 2 games in 3 days and 4 days because you have the other day off.
That adds up. A lot.
Can we just say how annoying it is that the NHL made us play a back-to-back?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They give
It
us.
doesn't make sense. That's
Yeah, we
never
have a late start, so Price is healthy. Then we have a back-to-back.
Why can't we start? Why are we starting next Thursday? I don't get just because the Canucks are playing. That doesn't make any sense.
No, because they wouldn't put us the same night as the Oilers because they want most viewers as possible. Oilers are playing Wednesday.
So
either
so
we're gonna play
annoying.
Wednesday or they were gonna play Wednesday.
That's so ridiculous.
But
Gary Bettman, if you're listening to this podcast, which I know you are,
excuses to be that we lost the series because there was a back-to-back. Like how? That's just so Leafs fans right there. We lost the series because our best athletes in the world couldn't play well 2 days in a row.
I'm already ready for that excuse.
All right. Well, I think it's time for prediction. I think it's prediction time. Now,
I can
guess
start it off.
go for it.
For Habs Leafs, I think Habs win 4-2. A bit of a shock, but I think the Habs just slow win, but 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah, this is so tough because it's just been so hard to watch the Habs the last month with all the injuries and all the bad play. And
I'm so sorry.
But that being said, I think you're going to see a different team game one. I think we're well rested, and I think pay close attention to the first 10 minutes of that first game. That's really going to tell how the team's playing. I think if they come out flying, then I think you're going to see that the rest of the series. But if they're slow on their feet and letting the Leafs attack them, then I think they got no chance. But I see us coming out flying that first game and I could see us taking game one. But my prediction is after hard-fought series, I'm going to take the Habs in 7.
Hey,
Okay, now Jays.
No. Okay. Jake, I want Jake to listen to me, and Jake, I want you to agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
Habs fans are a shitty team. They're the 4 seed all year, and they expect their whole team to be completely different in the playoffs. A high-paced team with a lot of goals.
I never said we were going to get a lot of goals.
Basically, expect their whole team to change over one night.
You guys are the most annoying people on it. We get Brendan Gallagher back. It's like not like Brendan Gallagher's Austin Matthews. Like
Cole Caulfield gets a practice goal.
For our team, you don't understand. For our team,
he's the
Brendan Gallagher's not
Austin
Matthews. For our team, Brendan Gallagher's Austin Matthews because every year scores the most goals.
Quote that. For our team, Brendan Gallagher's Austin Matthews.
And our team is not on the level of your team, so it makes complete sense.
And the best is Cole Caulfield. Nice practice goal. More hype than us even getting like.
Cole Caulfield isn't playing in the playoffs, by the way. According to the lines.
Recently. It's just amazing to me that the Habs expect to be a different team overnight.
All right, so
make your prediction,
say Leafs in 4. Both you guys say Leafs in 4 right now.
No, I'm going to go Leafs in 5. I'll give you a game. I'll give you the night that Freddie plays.
Leafs in 6. 6-6, baby.
And then so we each have our own teams, and then I have Oilers. So then I have Leafs, Oilers, hard fought series.
We own McFraud.
I think we destroy Oilers all season round, but in the playoffs it's different. It's going to be a battle of stars, and then we have the better depth. I'm going to go Leafs in 7 in this series.
Are we talking Leafs Oilers? So
I'm going Leafs Oilers.
Okay, I did Leafs Oilers too. Leafs in 4. Leafs in 4.
All right, I have Habs Jets.
Leafs are going to semifinals. This is our year.
Jets, so I'm going to be entirely honest here. It's going to be the Jets in 6.
Really, I would go Habs over Jets.
No bias on the.
I would go Habs over Jets if that's the finals.
Yeah, like if my prediction, even if Habs don't make it, even if Habs don't make it out of that first round, I think Jets win the division no matter what. I think they beat the Oilers and then beat Leafs or Habs.
So you guys are both going Jets beating Habs. We're both going Leafs beating Oilers.
Leafs.
We'll see what happens.
Leafs in 6. Leafs in 4.
Then come any sooner.
Then we play whoever that we need to play. We sweep them too. Leafs Boston, game 7. At where is it going to be? Would it be in the Garden or would it be at Scotia?
I think it'd be at Scotia.
All right.
Yeah, it would be at Scotia.
It's a different arena, different circumstances. We win game 7. Leafs win the cup. This is our year.
In Canada for those rounds?
I think they might move us to the States for those.
They're going to move you.
Well, I'm going.
Okay. And now, after all that hockey talk, let's talk a little baseball, a little recap with the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays.
Okay.
Okay.
Blue Jays.
I think that the Blue Jays had a very interesting start to the season this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're only 2.5 games out of first place. I don't know what's happening to the Red Sox. Like, I'm just waiting for them to lose 10 in a row. Doesn't seem like it's happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Vladdy's playing really well. You just can't not love to see Vladdy, like, finally breaking out, being the player that everyone thought he was going to be. 9 home runs. I think he must be up to over 30 RBIs. Does he have 30 RBIs by now?
He's close.
He's hitting over 300. The guy's a
27
machine.
RBIs.
He's second on the Jays in RBIs.
Even like, I know Randall Grichuk's been a bit quiet recently, but what a start he had too.
Yeah.
He has 28 RBIs. He's first in the Jays.
Huh. And Bo's been playing really well. Semien. Biggio's starting to find his bat.
Finally fielding some grounders, and everyone's saying they got to move him to second base, but
yeah.
I think
But
that's
The first year I've optionally went and watched multiple Jays games.
yeah, no, it's been a great year so far. We are, I think, 3 games above 500 as of recording right now on Saturday. It's just been a lot of fun. You know, the Blue Jays, they haven't been good for a while. I know they made the playoffs last year, but it didn't really feel like we made the playoffs because it was only a 2-game playoff. And this is just the most fun that I've had watching the team in a very, very long time.
It's just a fun team to watch, win or lose.
You can't not like them. They're really fun guys.
So many home runs.
I think everyone is just waiting for Springer to be 100% healthy.
George.
And
Who's the odd man out if Springer's back?
Rowdy.
Yeah,
Rowdy?
it's gonna be like someone like Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who had a great year last year. He just hasn't.
Could be him.
I think every time I watch a game, Dan Shulman just keeps saying he's just waiting for him to break out, It just hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet.
But when that guy is one of the best breaking ball hitters in the game. So
It's true.
that's a pretty good skill to have. Not a lot of people can hit curveballs and sliders like that. But
Yeah. But just like this team, it's just been so far a pretty solid start to the year. I think we have the wild card right now. Our division is going to be a very, very exciting division this year. I would say that it's a 4-team race, honestly. I'm sorry to the Orioles, but the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. If you told me one of those teams won the division at the end of the year, I wouldn't say that, like, you can make the argument for all of them. They're all pretty good teams, and they all, unfortunately, they can't all make the playoffs, but they're all playoff teams in my opinion. And what I think the Jays,
that's a great division.
what the Jays, another thing that the Jays have been really good at this year is relief pitching. Their bullpen has been amazing this year, despite a lot of injuries. You know, we signed Kirby Yates to be that closer. He had to get Tommy John at the start of the season, which
I think our bullpen ERA is top like 5 in the league.
Oh yeah. It's been amazing. And Merriweather, who looked like was going to be our closer or setup man at least, he also had to go on, I think he's like IL 60 right now. So probably not going to come back for a while. But it's just been one guy stepping up after the other. Like Dolis, I think he's a little hurt right now, but I'm not the biggest Dolis guy, but he's stepped up a little bit. Chatwood has been amazing, especially in that Braves series.
Wow.
He came into the 8th inning both times and shut down Acuna, Freeman, and Ozuna to save the innings. Like, and Jordan Romano, the funny stance. I love go down. He's hilarious, and he just looks like a crazy guy with his beard and his hair. But he's been amazing, and I think that's going to be really key for the Blue Jays if they want to keep winning games. Is, our starters, they can only do so much, and we'll talk about. In addition to the bullpen, I think just one more bullpen arm, and we need one more starter, maybe 2, that at the deadline that could really.
The only thing, right? Starters aren't getting many innings besides Ryu, Ryu's been amazing. Like,
yeah,
wow.
He's a stud.
Unbelievable.
And honestly, Robbie Ray has looked pretty good these past couple starts. Matt's has kind of fell down a little bit back to earth. He's been okay.
Robbie Ray has a bit of a home run problem, but other than that, he's getting like 8-9 strikeouts a game, which is pretty good.
Yeah. And, I just don't like those like bullpen starts when like you're starting like Pyamps or like 8K. We need Pearson to get healthy. That was a rough start against the Astros. But in Stripling, I don't trust Stripling. I think he's a better bullpen type of guy. But, if we could, I know it's a stretch, but if we get Luis Castillo at the deadline or something like that.
I don't see them selling out this year at the deadline for someone like that.
The Reds are okay, but
it's not like Luis Castillo. Usually when you make a big deadline splash, it's not for a really young guy like that. That guy has so much potential and
he
so
does.
many years left that I don't know. I don't think they'd trade him.
But anyway, that's a Jays update. I think that my prediction right now for where they'll finish, I think they'll get the first wild card. I think the Red Sox, I know they're streaking right now, but I think they have to fall down to earth.
They have to.
Eventually.
They've been playing better recently.
They've been playing really well. I think the Yankees pull ahead at some point. They make some big move before the deadline. Get another arm. Classic Yankees overpay. But I think we finish as the first or second wild card, and I'll take that. I think as a young team that this is a very short, we're very fortunate to have these guys, Bichette, Vlad, just come in right away and produce. And it's been a very quick turnaround from the Bautista, Encarnacion, Donaldson era. And yeah, I'm very proud of this team. Hopefully they can succeed this season and seasons going on.
Before we wrap up the pod, as the baseball analyst of the group, I'm going to give my World Series prediction. I'm going to go
right to the World Series like it's nothing.
Already, I'm saying it right now. Jays beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals of St. Louis.
As he reaches over and looks at his phone, who's in first place in the NL? The Cardinals. Okay.
Jays beating the Cardinals in the World Series. That's my prediction.
All right. Great episode.
Yeah.
Peace.
Episode 13 of the Lunch Lads podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Woo!